How are you, Stone?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Just give me. Do you have questions about this week's lab?
No,
The,
it was just more to go over the other one,
about say it again.
the oil and vinegar one.
The oil and vinegar one. Okay,
Yeah.
so it is again. It is about the intermolecular force, right?
Mm.
You have a question about like the submission or the question about the content.
Oh, the content. I need to go over the lab so I can answer the questions and fill out the
You
table.
can complete. Okay, so what I'm telling right now to Stephanie, listen carefully because the concept is same for that, and it is just the different properties. Okay, so it is going
All
to
right.
be same. So let me know if you have any questions.
Okay.
Okay, so for both of you, again, feel free to stop me in the middle, but. Uh, this is important topic, so the topic looks really easy, like when you are considering just intermolecular forces. Can you see my whiteboard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, and it is acting little weird. Okay, but I think you can understand my handwriting there. Okay, so there are four intermolecular forces. One is called ion dipole. Oops. Ion dipole, and that is only present in ionic compounds. So for these two labs, last lab and this lab, we are not dealing with ionic compounds. So you don't have to worry about this one for these two labs. And this only exists in ionic compound only. Okay. But other three forces, one is hydrogen bonding, and hydrogen bonding is present when hydrogen is directly attached to oxygen or it directly attached to fluorine or nitrogen. So oxygen, fluorine and nitrogen, these are the only three atoms. If hydrogen is directly attached, then there is hydrogen bonding. And when hydrogen bonding is there, molecule is always polar. And this is also the strongest intermolecular force. And intermolecular force very commonly abbreviated as IMF. So this is the strongest intermolecular force. Then the weakest intermolecular force is London dispersion. And London dispersion is present only in the molecules where there is only carbon and hydrogen. And that is also called hydrocarbons. So it is present only in hydrocarbons. And if that force is there, then molecule is always non-polar. And this is the weakest intermolecular force. Are you clear on these two?
So for the hydrogen bonding, if it's not H and with the O and the F and N, and if it's like something if H is with something else, it wouldn't be considered as hydrogen bonding. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Only these three atoms. If it is, and it there should be a direct bonding. Like if you take methanol, methanol has this OH group, so oxygen is directly attached to the hydrogen, and this is hydrogen bonding. Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
so this is called hydrogen bonding.
Um,
London dispersion. Are you clear? Like if you take molecule of methane, this is only carbon, hydrogen. There is no any other atom. That is called hydrocarbon.
okay.
So the third force is dipole-dipole interaction. So dipole-dipole interaction, um, when it is present, when it is dipole-dipole interaction, like so you will first see if there is hydrogen bonding, no, then you will go for London dispersion. If it is all hydrocarbons, if there are only carbon hydrogens, um, and if that is not there, then you will go for dipole-dipole interaction. And dipole-dipole
Oh,
interaction, you have to look at two things. If there is a plane of symmetry, that means if a molecule is symmetrical, if there is a plane of symmetry, then that molecule is non-polar. And if there is no plane of symmetry, then that molecule is polar. Now, when there is a plane of symmetry, the dipole-dipole charges, they cancel out. Like if you take carbon dioxide, which is CO2, and here there is a plane of symmetry. So here oxygen is positively charged, oxygen is negatively charged, carbon is positively charged, and this is negatively charged. So basically, because of the plane of symmetry, and of course there are these two lone pairs, this dipole-dipole interaction, because there is like equal stretch bit from both the sides, so the net result is zero, and that molecule becomes non-polar, although that CO bond is polar. So CO bond is polar, but CO2 is non-polar. Okay, and no plane of symmetry. So if you take example of water, and if you don't know the structure of water, then you are going to draw it like this, and then you will see, oh, there is a plane of symmetry, but there is a lone pair of electron on the oxygen, and because of that lone pair of electrons, the shape of the molecule is not linear. It becomes bent, and because of that shape, the direction of these dipoles, direction of these charges is, is not equal and opposite, and that's why this molecule is polar. Okay, you understand this, both of it?
Yes.
Wait, so that one you labeled right there, you think was polar. Why is it not symmetrical if it's
Because of the lone pair of electrons. What electrons does, electron has negative charge, so they repel with each other, and when they repel, they push away the atoms, and when they push away the atoms, here the carbon dioxide molecule, it's a linear molecule, so it is in the straight line, but this is not linear. Okay, not linear, and water becomes bent. So when there is a lone pair on central atom, that is another way to consider whether it's a polar or not polar. On the central atom, if there is a lone pair of electrons, then that molecule is polar. Okay, what is important is central atom. Okay,
Okay.
all right?
central atom should have the lone pair of electron.
So.
Got it?
Mm.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm comparing now both the experiments, oil and vinegar, and also why is it so cold this week and the last week lab. So in oil and vinegar, what we were studying, and I'm going to add another page here. Let me see if I can add another page here. Okay, I think I need to go. Okay, let me add another page so I can. Okay. So basically, again, in oil and vinegar, in that lab, it is again based on the intermolecular forces. But in this lab, what we were comparing the percent polarity or 1% polar surface area, that TPSA, which is nothing but total polar surface area, and the non-polar area. So we did 4 alcohols in there, like we had methanol, butanol, and hexanol, and it says one methanol, one ethanol. So basically that is the position of OH group. OH group represents the alcohol. So basically if you look at the structure, and somehow this O is not coming nicely on my notepad. Ethanol, you are now, as you go, you are just adding these carbons. Butanol, you have now 1, 2, 3 and 4 carbons. So as you see, there is as you go from methanol to hexanol, this is 6, and if I am not writing anything there, that means there is a hydrogen. So that is a very normal way to write down that. So you can see here in all the molecules there is this hydrogen bonding. So if you have a question where it is asking you, is these are all of these alcohols are polar or non-polar, the answer is polar as an individual molecule. But what we are studying here is the miscibility with water. Miscibility with water. So methanol and ethanol, they both are miscible. And I'm just writing MISC. So these two are miscible, but these are not miscible in water. And the reason for that is, as you see, the carbon hydrogen in butanol and hexanol, as compared to methanol and ethanol, they are a lot more. So if you look at the structure, that butanol, hexanol, they have lot more non-polar area. So this is their non-polar area. So as compared to methanol, you have only you have like a 1 carbon and 2 carbons. So you have just, this is the non-polar area as compared to all of these non-polar bonds. And that's the reason hexanol is not miscible with water. And that's why you get like 2 layers of, one is water and one is hexanol. So that's what happens because of the percent of more now non-polar surface area. So that is the property for oil and vinegar lab. That's what we looked at in that lab. So Stone, do you have any question? Like do you understand what we did there?
Yeah.
Okay, will you be able to answer all those questions now?
Let me go look at the questions. I don't have them written down.
Okay. Stephanie, do you have any question for that lab?
Nothing yet. I'm just looking at it just to understand much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we did. We just found out the TPSA values by